Hello, and welcome to Smiley's. Tonight we will be discussing chapter 24 of Fall of Light. I am joined by Steven Erickson, excuse me. I am joined by Mora. Hello, Mora. How are you?
Hi, Lee. I'm fine. How are you?
Quite good. This chapter is long, unsurprisingly.
Is it?
We're going to repeat this quite a few times in the last three chapters. So we're probably going to be splitting this in part 1 and part 2. We will probably,
Part three.
unless we go to part 3, though I hope we don't. We will be talking about the entire chapter, as per usual. So the spoiler scope is all of the book until here. So we assume you have read chapter 24. Maura, would you like to add anything before we begin?
Yeah, I would like to just take a moment to think about how far we have come.
Yeah.
It's Fall of Light, and it's chapter 24. And after this, we have just 2 more chapters, and then
we're
we're
done.
all going to... No, we're going to wait in shadow. See what I
That's good. That's good. I like that.
did? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to start? Okay, I just highlighted a bunch of stuff, but I think as we go, we'll keep discussing because
Yeah. In all
there's
probability, yes.
just so much happening here. There is this. The second read was high return value, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those chapters.
Yeah. In classically summary fashion, I have made quite a few notes, which we'll go through as I go through this. We have quite a bit to go through, so I'll begin without any further ado. So, Scene 1. Lord Draconis is an honorable man.
Yes, he is. Oh, God. Yeah.
The group of Silkas Ruin, Rise Harat and Emerald Lanier, pursues the battlefield of the Valley of Tarns, with Rise paralleling the commander with a marble statue, ambiguous in its celebration, because he's white. And this is going to come up a lot.
Yeah, not race white. He's just skin white.
Yeah, he's skin white, and it's going to come up a lot because people don't trust Silkas Ruin, and he gets a lot of shit in this chapter. Anyway, the objective of Rise and Emerald...
Thoughts.
You have thoughts, I'm sure, is to manipulate Silkas into forcing Draconis' hand. Silkas is blissfully unaware of this, and instead asks Rise if this valley was indeed the legendary first camp of the Teist, wherein they fed from the flesh of dead dragons.
He uses the word nest.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, or first nest, you're right.
Doesn't he?
He does, you're right. Huh.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? So, yeah. Tell me your thoughts. Let's just stop here.
Yeah, so this, along with chapter 22 of this book, and Tapestry in chapter 15 of Forge of Darkness, is a resounding confirmation of the Teist's relationship with dragons, their draconic ancestry, as we'll discover very soon in this chapter, the cyclical relationship of history with the Teist. That is also going to be a theme in the next 2 chapters, but we'll talk about that when it comes up. For the time being, dragons appearing within the life of the Teist is a thing. It happens a lot.
And so, if anyone like me, after reading Toll the Hounds, was waiting for the Teist to literally eat dragons on page, yeah, I think we know the answer. I think by now you should have figured out, right?
I could talk about that more, but I'm not going to because I have a lot to go through. Hold that thought for like a few chapters from now. Now, though Rise considers the pyre they must soon make, he chooses to sting Silkas by claiming that on the day of the battle, they will hear the weeping of ghosts on the wind. Silkas counters by telling Rise he should say the same to Rosander, so they may both share in the grief, which Emerald corrects to blame. Indeed, though the Teist ought to all share in the grief, Honral, and especially Lord Draconis, who is an honorable man, wouldn't agree to such sentiments. Draconis has, after all, incited the civil war by his stubborn refusal to engage with just about anyone. Silkas rightly objects, but Emerald continues the ruse. Yes, Draconis' presence on the battlefield would perhaps lead to the Highborn leaving the field, but nonetheless, it is their belief that Draconis' honor would have won out against his stung pride and his desire for vengeance, with him yielding the field and his position as consort. Now, alas, it is much too late. Except, perhaps it isn't. Silkas will write to Draconis and inform him of the situation, with Rise Harat barely suppressing a shit-eating grin. After the initial triumph settles in, however, Rise considers Mother Dark and her love for Draconis. Too little, too late, everybody. Indeed, he declares that he would not write of this out of shame and let future historians debate this day. He is much too ashamed of his actions before his goddess to write this. Silkas, still debating the virtues of his choice, is goaded further by Emerald and Rise, because Lord Draconis is an honorable man. Rise appeals to Silkas' vanity. Peace will be won by his hand, and he will therefore be celebrated. But Silkas puts an end to that. No one will hear of this, Silkas. It's only the messenger of Draconis' conscience. Now, it is interesting to note that Galan actually sings the praises of Silkas in the Book of the Fallen, tasking the Sheikh with the remembrance of the sordid day with regard to the Sundering. So Galan isn't going to paint Silkas as too terrible a person in Gorgonas. Just a note, because Mora has thoughts on what happens afterward with Silkas.
Oh, no. Yeah, by the end of this chapter, I don't think Silkas was being good. I don't think he did the right thing.
Okay.
But we will get to that section, so
Yeah.
I'll save it to that.
Cedar
Here,
yeah.
This Valley of Tarns, there is like all that symbolism about the heartline of the valley, and that's where they're fighting. And then it's brought up again when they're talking about Mother Dark. So it's a nice way to.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your
symbolism thing? Yeah. I'm imagine me waving for symbolism right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cedarpool and Endist are riding up to the party. So Silkas, after informing everyone to keep this under wraps, takes off. Rise at least has the decency to feel bad about their manipulation, a decency Emerald does not share, and for all that Rise calls her out on it, I doubt he regrets his actions over much. Cedarpool arrives and is absolutely livid at his dismissal by Silkas, and informs the group that A, the Husk Legion isn't forthcoming, more than that soon, and B, his newfound sorcery finds shape in a manner that Endist explains has the flavor of darkness, but does not originate from Mother Dark.
Not sanctioned by her, yeah.
Yeah. Cedarpool explains that his newfound power stems from forces beneath Mother Dark's notice, something Endist takes exception to, but doesn't really comment on. Emerald chastises him, and Cedarpool strikes back. They're all idiots, which is, almost fair, and know very little about what's coming when it comes to magic, which, to be fair, is true, but not for the reasons Cedarpool believes. The priest takes off back towards Silkas Ruin, and with Endist voicing in what I can only imagine is a tired, dry, and deadpan voice, quite the potent curse, though he himself only says he's bestirring a handful of air, with his curse achieving scant little. Endist then takes off his bandages and proceeds to show Mother Dark the battlefield, or what will soon be the battlefield, taking care to exclude Emerald and Rise, so as to show her the world's own gifts. Do you have the quote in hand, on what he says exactly?
The unsullied, to see winter's end, High Priestess. The unsullied snow of the basin, the empty slopes, the unoccupied ridges, the muted blessing of a simple breeze. The world delivers its own gifts. He held up and out his hands, from which blood now dripped. It is our common flaw to make the wondrous familiar, and the familiar a thing bound in the tangled wire of contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah. Isn't that really pretty?
It's so pretty. But see, so when Emerald says that he's trying to torture her, and Endist says her, what does it mean? He's like not torturing her. He's like trying to show her what she's missing because she's withdrawn.
Yeah, I think the implication, coupled with like Rise's thoughts after this, is that he is torturing them because he knows they're bullshit.
Isn't it? Yeah.
He knows. Yeah. He's onto them. But like, I'm not going to show anyone.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
You know what you've done.
So the thing is, just because Rise feels bad for the shit he's doing, doesn't make him. I wouldn't call him decent. I wouldn't go so far. He's still a piece of shit. The thing is, when we met them in Forge of Darkness, wasn't it in Forge of Darkness?
Yeah.
Rise was like the reasonable voice, and Cedarpool was the guy with the going after the priestesses and like the negative guy. And see now, I mean the next section will be more clear, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
Why does this guy's bandages have an edge of pallid gold? Do you know why?
I did not notice that, to be honest with you.
I didn't understand why. It said strips of linen stained red in blooms and edged in pallid gold.
Might be the
if
sun.
I see yellow on a bandage, I assume it's either like beaded in some dressing or it's infected and that's pus.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I would hope it's the sun.
The sun?
Yeah.
The fabric itself is gold, is what I thought.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't notice that earlier. Huh. That's cool.
Right.
I hope it's not infected.
Cool, yeah.
That would be off.
No, he's not infected. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. You can continue.
We can go on. Okay. So Rise hopes that Silkas would cut Cedarpool down should the latter catch up, which foils the game for Endist, the game he was already to be fair. And he says Rise and Emerald would lay her out on the altar of her love and make a knife of their unwelcome cock. And the sexual assault imagery is no accident. This is Endist we're talking about, with all the dreams of Andor's house and the sanctification of Anestia as Mother's priestess. He's not accidental in invoking this imagery.
Sorry, can you just repeat that a bit slowly?
Sorry. Rise and Emerald would the note or what the quote? Which one?
Your whatever you said, not the note, not the quote. What you said.
The sexual assault imagery is no accident, because this is Endist we're talking about, with all the dreams of Andor's house and the sanctification of Anestia as Mother's priestess.
Thank you. Yeah. Now that makes total sense. Yeah.
What is weird to me is how much that has been sidelined in Fall of Light. Well, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, but it is a bit off-putting at first. The only people who seem to actually care beyond Endrist are Endist and Narad. Narad because, and Endist because similar reasons. Everyone else has just kind of sidelined the problem.
Over it, yeah.
Of like, yeah, that happened, but we don't actually care. It's a casus belli. It's not the reason.
That is the reason we are all in this war today.
Yeah. But nobody actually cares. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's like so depressingly real, right? So depressingly historical.
Yeah. So, Lanier tries to salvage the situation, but mostly for naught. She demotes Endist to the rank of Acolyte and essentially tells him to take rocks. Endist laughs in her face, tells them he plans to return to Karkanos, eager to return to being forgotten.
He wants a glimmer of the city's name. So like he's going to look for wisdom in the wise city of Karkanos.
Yeah.
That thing was so funny. She's like, oh, you're being demoted. You no longer, you can't come to the council meetings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, thanks. And it's like, no, you should be more mad. You should be more sad at this. Yeah, poor Emerald.
Poor Emerald.
Yeah, am I interrupting you too much?
No. Don't worry. Emerald and Rise then discuss Cedarpool sorcery for a minute. Cedarpool is vain enough to bribe, but Endist is not, and more to the point, Mother Dark is making use of him. But at least he had the mercy to spare them their goddess's regard. Rise witnesses Emerald light her pipe and thinks how they are creatures of habit, repeating patterns of disaster. So I said earlier that this notion of cyclical history is far from being unique to her as musings, and it will come back again, both in this chapter, we'll see later, and in the rest of the book. We will tackle it again when it comes up, especially in the next two chapters, but I bring it up early so that everyone gets to keep an eye out. Also, I think I have not written down here, but I probably should have. I don't know if you remember, but in All the Hounds, Endist has a lot of musings about the early days of Karkanos, right? And how the end looked when Civil War arrived and Anamandra had to eat Tiam and whatnot. In those musings, he recalls being a third-rank acolyte.
Oh, he does?
Which is really cheeky because he's not an acolyte throughout the book. So...
No, but he's demoted, so maybe he just thinks of himself as an acolyte. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I have one highlight.
Yeah.
Saying when he walked the market, he made sure that she could not blink. I thought you would like that.
I did. I have written about it.
Comes up.
Yeah.
We are going to reach that now. Okay.
I have written about that, so it's.
Oh, then I'll wait.
Probably one of the least renowned essays I've written, but it is there. It's somewhere out there in the sub. You can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else beyond blinking?
No. I just like the way she berates him, and then
he's just like,
and just laughs at her.
Whatever,
like,
dude.
Okay, sure. Peace, and then he walks off.
Yeah. Scene 2. We have reason to fear this new world of ours. Endist catches up to Cedarpool on the road, his horse having thrown a shoe. Perhaps the curse wasn't so impotent, perhaps. Got him.
Wow,
yeah, I don't actually know if this is a case, but it is interesting.
It is interesting, yeah.
The two of them discuss Cedarpool sorcery, stemming from Elemental Night, a realm which Mother Dark does not rule in its entirety, and indeed seems unaware of its extent. Do you have something to add here?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? Is there something I was supposed to say? Because...
I don't know.
It's all coming up, right? Their whole realm when we meet Draconis.
Yeah. But in Chapter 10, Draconis tells us that Mother Dark's challengers are no more, which leads to the very funny situation wherein Cedarpool is only capable of exploring Elemental Night because Draconis killed anything that could reasonably harm him, and because Mother Dark allows him to. So, yeah.
So,
Cedar
yeah.
Pool isn't very smart here, but he does like to pretend that he is
neither
perhaps smarter than he
is
is.
Draconis.
Really.
I mean, he killed all the predators, so you're going to get new predators inside, right? He killed all the scary monsters, so now we have people like Sidorpul coming in and grabbing Dark whenever they want.
Isn't that the point?
He wants everyone to have this magic, is it? I don't think so.
I think
they're able to...
Yeah.
Wait. Let's just clear this.
Yeah.
Are they able to access Dark because of Krull?
No. Yes,
Is it purely
but no.
because of the Tyrande? Or both? Both is good.
Yeah, I think both is good. The trouble is, Korea asked this of Farandas when they talk of like the different magics that different cultures have. Like the Eye must have Telon, the Jag would have Omus Falak. Where's the Theist magic?
Yeah.
And it's like, and Farandas is like, well, have you looked? So in Q-Part, I think they have not necessarily innate, but they definitely have access to magic. And the Terrandai is one of the reasons that they bear magic right now, not necessarily due to Krull's magic. But also, Draconis created the Theist, right? The Theist are Draconis' creation in the same way that, like, the Aimas are, like, Ollers, and the Assail are Kildamandaros, etc. So he gives of Dark, of basically himself, his essence, onto the Theist, so that they alone can use it, which is why he removed everyone else. So, in as much as he's concerned, it's important that only the Theist are capable of accessing Dark. At least his flavor, if you would, of Dark. The Elemental Knight. So I don't think Draconis is being necessarily ignorant here. It's like, this is what he wanted. I don't know if he has seen this to its end, of what that would mean for the realm of Elemental Knight. But
which tracks, because as you can see, all Theist are exactly as short-sighted as him.
Exactly.
So, I don't know when we're going to, like, stop shaming the Theist for, like, anything they do.
The next few chapters have a few things that are
with
remarkable.
The Civil War, so
yeah,
they
have a few offshoots that are actually decent people. So I guess it's fair.
The exceptions that prove the rule. Right?
Exactly. So, nonetheless, Cedarpool is a wizard now, but seems to understand scant little of his own power. Endus advises caution and explains that within the realm of night, plenty of sources of power lay unclaimed. Wizardry, magery, sorcery, alchemy, thaumaturgy, all different expressions of what Endus calls a cheat. Cheating, in this manner, is a means of circumvention, presumably of laws of nature. One cheats, therefore, out of convenience. This paradigm leads into a discussion of sorcery as used upon the battlefield, with the expedient choice being the incineration of 1,000 soldiers with the wave of a hand. Call it mercy, Endus says, against the suffering. Why not, then, set the two mages willing to wave their hands as such against one another as stand-ins for an army. An army, after all, leads to a higher body count, a greater amount of horror for combatants and non-combatants. The point that Enders is trying to make is that he himself has found his own powers, but they aren't malicious in the same manner Cedarpool's are. He's geared towards defense and protection, and it can, perhaps, defend against Honral's magic. Thereby, with both sides negated, they return to swords and shields, and, as Enders puts it, to a host of thankful husbands and wives, a multitude of delighted children. These last words seem to strike a nerve in Cedarpool, who abruptly begins weeping, and just implores his friend to wring the malice from his sorcery and merely defend the Ande from Honral's magic. Isn't that really pretty as well? Like, a lot of what Endus says in this chapter is really, really pretty.
Yeah, like, Endus is just so, I don't know, he's just gone beyond his goddess, so he's like actually seeing into what is going to happen on the battlefield. So, okay, now, it was written in the early 2000s, this book?
In 2016.
2016?
I thought it was 2012, this was 2016, so think between 2012 and 2016. Yeah.
Okay, now, see, this magic, what do you think it stands for? Because if it was written today, I would say that he's talking about, like, drones, use of drones in war. I thought back then, I'm not sure about the timeline, but was it about, like, the weapons of mass destruction stuff?
Yes, I'll say yes. My thought process was in World War One, with the advent of artillery and the different changes that occurred in war between, what was at the time a bridge war, if you will, with the American Civil War. You have Napoleon, who is essentially the last vestige of the old ways of marching in squares, pikes, rank and file, shoot, duck, reload, stand up, shoot again, and so on, into the American Civil War, which had much of the same of charging with bayonets and rank and file, but also had a lot more artillery, had a lot more machine guns, a lot of stuff like that. And then you have World War One, which is pretty much modernized and completely revolutionized how warfare works, wherein anything that would have worked in Napoleon's time or the Americans' time, which was like 1 or 2 generations ago, suddenly leads to thousands of casualties. You look at something like the Battle of the Somme, and on the first day on the Somme, as it came to be known, you have around 60,000 casualties in one day of battle, which was not really something you would see before. Even in...
No, but
yeah.
why I was thinking of this is because it's basically like no survivors.
Yeah.
That's what they're finally coming to, right? That's what Endest is finally saying, that no matter what, any of those wars had some survivors, right? No matter how many people died.
Mm-hmm. Now...
It's depressing shit.
It is, it is. The other thing I want to bring up that's more Balazan related is this notion of magic as cheating is brought up more, I think, in The Gods Not Willing, which we're not going to talk about here because spoilers. And also, tangentially...
Does Summer bring this up somewhere? That she talks about technology and...
Probably, yeah, maybe.
Just because we can, should we do magic? Something like that. She has a long speech, right?
Maybe. I don't remember, but I can believe that, yeah. And also, I think in Blood and Bone, Celeste brings something like this up, of magic users cheating. And I think the wording she uses is manipulation of interdimensional leakage, is the precise wording. So, yeah.
That's nice. Right.
So, yeah. There's much more to say.
So, yeah.
And this notion of, you brought up drones and what WMDs, I brought up World War One. This is going to come up a lot. Right, the Battle of Tarns is very much spoiler. There will be a Battle of Tarns. Spoilers, sorry.
In case all the foreshadowing didn't prepare you for
is very much a new chapter in Dice. Well, I say new, a new chapter in this particular generation of Dice that have been at war for most of their existence. You know, with a Jellic, with a Morgan, with other such individuals, with themselves at times.
Wasn't arrows themselves like a newfangled thing for them?
I brought this up later because Hish talks about honor, but yeah.
Okay.
So there will be talks of this in the next couple of chapters as well. So it's something to keep an eye out of how magic changes warfare and whatnot. But more on that in a minute.
Why can't people just write books like without metaphors?
I don't know.
I don't know. Just two people. They just shoot at each other.
Yeah.
Somebody dies.
That's it. Yeah. Scene 3.
Can we continue?
Scene 3.
Yeah.
It is simply love, Silgas. And this scene sucks. I don't like this scene.
It is what?
This scene sucks.
It is simply love.
I don't like this scene. Okay.
Yeah. It's okay. You can do it. Come on.
The Houseblades of House Puric are assembling for the upcoming battle, with numerous other Houseblade regiments arriving in Carcanos. Captain Kilaris ponders the day's future events and the onset of sorcery before he is informed of the arrival of Silgas' ruin. Kilaris' last encounter with Silgas in these halls went poorly, and Kilaris isn't generally terribly happy, but his mood is more general than any grievance with his commander, and he aims at Raisarat and his lack of presence here. At the very least, he ought to record the multitudes, summarize their presence, since they are all on history's churning tide, and the multitudes, the nameless, faceless soldiers, are so very necessary for this occurrence. And I think he does mention that they walk in shadow. Technical difficulties occurred, nevertheless. We were saying.
Was I saying something?
What I wanted to say is, he does mention, Scalara says, we are all in history's turning tide, historian, and in the end, when every blazing torch is guttered out, we walk in shadow, we of the multitude, anonymous in our victimhood, and yet so very necessary. Which is a cool quote, and I talk about it because the last time we saw the quote, walk in shadow used, was by the historian in Forge of Darkness, talking about the shadow that is cast by the future and the bright glory and virtue of the future, of like love, happiness, kindness, equality, liberty, fraternity, etc., onto an uncertain past and present. So we cannot walk on the bridges of the future, which, like, because they're Dice, then they would rather kill themselves than actually reform their society. Anyway, but the bridges of those virtues cast shadows onto the river of the present, and maybe one day he will walk on those shadows. Anyway,
I have
Yeah.
One small thing here.
Yeah.
Because Kelleris mentions that the last time he saw Silcus when he was wearing this armor, Silcus shouted at him, right?
Yep.
Saying, it whispers of panic or
weakness.
Something,
panic?
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's panic, yeah.
Panic, something, yeah. He says something and walks off. And then now he's thinking like how they have taken each step and then the first step has been forgotten. Like each step of their preparing for the war and now that thing is almost forgotten, right? Now everyone is armored. Everyone is ready for the war. Just something.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is that this speech by Kelaris here, the we of the multitude, anonymous, never victimhood, and yet so doesn't that sound like Duiker? Your name, none of the fallen, for they stood in our place and stand there still in each moment of our lives. And because it's me, I have a Gadasfala quote. I see a future laden with ash and soot-coated pools and gibbets groaning. And all the historian would not say keeps him mute. Now, these last few chapters lean quite heavily into historiography and the presence of a historian, echoing, if indirectly, Duiker's internal thoughts. And I think that's very much deliberate, because this is Galan and Fisher talking, so of course he would invoke, past histories in the role of a historian, contrasted to that of a role of an artist. And if I really wanted to expand on this, I would talk about Aristotle here, but I'm not going to because I'm not prepared. Anyway. Yeah.
Did you reach the part where he describes how Silcus comes inside?
No, not yet. No.
Did we reach it? Okay, yeah. Then I'll wait for you because I'm sure you're going to quote that.
I don't think I do actually. So bring it up, please. So, Silcus arrives, and without second thought, orders Kelaris to follow. Despite the latter's grievances, he immediately obeys. Which this is going to come up a lot. This is an ongoing gag. Which provides the insight that they are all wont to follow their leader's orders, despite their rage and misgivings, until it all boils over. He follows Silcas through and into the Chamber of Night, wherein Silcas calls upon Draconis to request his absence on the Day of Battle. So you wanted to say something about Silcas?
He says, fitted to bursting with commands, you come like a flung torch, scattering shadows everywhere with every lash of your flame. So Silcas, he's literally white and he comes like a flung torch. So who knows where his allegiances lie?
Right.
So, is this a good time to mention my theory, or will that be too spoilery?
Sure. I think we could mention it earlier. Sure, go for it.
I mean, it's very crackpot because I've not heard this anywhere. But it's because he's albino, and we think that we've been told that he's tie-standy, but it's just that his skin doesn't turn black. So okay, that's what we've all been thinking. But what if he's actually Edur? What if he's actually gone to the shadow? Because his best friend is Skara, obviously, and
Tulas.
Kagamandra Tulas.
Yeah.
So it could be that these are the Eater bros going around in shadows.
The Eater
and we don't know because his skin remains, white. So just something to think about. We can't just agree that he's not Leosin. I think we're quite certain of that. And just because he's Rake's brother shouldn't make him an Andy, right? He's not exactly a devout guy. So if he's lost his faith in Mother Dark, he could turn Eater.
I don't think we brought this up before, but there are many points in this book prior to this chapter wherein this is discussed.
Why? Why do you shut down my theory?
I'm not shutting down. I'm actually doing the opposite. No, I mean, Silcas' skin not turning black in accordance to him being Andy is the recurring point in these books, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have an answer as to why. Grip in I don't remember which chapter.
We have an answer.
What is that?
It's lack of melanocytes.
Right, you're right. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So he lacks melanocytes, and albinism overcomes faith. We found the strongest thing in the Malazan Book of the Fallen and general universe. Silcas has albinism. But what I wanted to say is that in some chapter or other, I don't remember which one. I'll have to look it up. Grip says that Anomander does not trust Silcas. And the big implication there is because Silcas' skin isn't turning black. His allegiances are reasonably probably divided. The manner in which he comports himself while definitely skewing towards Mother Dark. And he definitely carries himself as Andy, and pretty much everyone treats him as such. No one is certain. No one knows where Silcas' allegiances lie. And I read the ending of chapter 23 of Reaper's Gale today for a random post. And what he says in his internal monologue, after he says he had fulfilled his vow to the Azath and delivered unto the soul of Skependari a reprieve. I don't remember the exact wording he uses, but he basically thinks that Scabandari did not deserve the fate that came onto him.
It's made as if, they are these big enemies, and then we know that it's not. And there is like, was it really backstabbing? Is it backstabbing if you show your back?
My theory, my crackpot
Yeah.
theory, and I've mentioned this before, is that Scabandari could kill Silgas if he actually wanted to. He doesn't, because the way events have transpired led him to stab Silgas and protect him. By putting him in an Azath, he essentially protects Silgas from the fallout of the events that transpired during the Sundering. I think this because Kilmandaros basically one-shot Scabandari right after. And she would have probably done the same thing to Silkas if she had the chance.
Isn't that like is it like a crackpot theory? Isn't that sort of like understood that?
The implication has always been that Scabandari does it because Curse of the Elaine. He goes crazy because of the Elaine blood and he just stabs Silkas, kills the Andy.
No. My theory was that Silkas purposely does it so that he gets locked.
No, I agree with that. What I also think, that's pretty much understood, right? What I think is that Scabandari did it to protect Silkas rather than try to kill him. If he wanted to, he could have killed him, but he chose not to.
So if both of them are thinking the same thing, like best friends, why would that make this guy Andy? Like
I don't know.
He could be either. They're just good friends.
Why not?
On the basis of friendship, yeah. Okay, maybe we're giving Erickson an idea that maybe he could just or just keep him completely neutral. He's just diced OG.
Yeah, why not? So, where was I? Right. Draconis, belatedly, appears, and Silkas explains that shit has hit the fan, and the Leosan will see a Father Light next to Mother Dark. Draconis hinges on Silkas, saying that Mother Dark does not understand, to which Silkas replies that this is a matter of a man's honor. Draconis will not be accepted by anyone, even if Mother Dark does end up marrying him, and so he must profess honor before anything else, even love, with Silkas terms a weakness, and so Draconis replies that it has never touched him. Do you want to add something here?
Oh God.
I feel like you do.
Lots. So, first of all, we've spoken this before, but because we're coming from Malazan, from Book of the Fallen in the present day Malazan universe, we don't really see any like huge misogyny or huge patriarchy type of society there. Most societies are, we have some exceptions, but mostly it's all, quite modern and quite feminist. But from beginning, we've been seeing that in Karkanas, that it is not exactly like that. Men and women are not treated the same. There's a lot of different set of rules for women, different set of rules for men, especially with all the slut shaming, with all the, was it on your knees, Sintara, and stuff like that. And Renar taking a prostitution, and then the way she thinks that, okay, even then she's still being accepted by Urusander and all. That whole thing. It's just a different type of society. So we know this. And now, and this is something which, which really irritates me when I see it in real life, because this happens all the time. It's like honor is something that has to be preserved by women, right? And they will not understand it, but it all belongs to the men there, and it is their duty to protect it, right? So that's the type of world we see. In the sense, the stewards of honor is always, it is the men who have to take the decisions, the best decision, which preserves their honor. You cannot leave it to women who are just going to go and bring dishonor to everyone. And this dialogue between them saying that, let us talk man to man. This is a question of man's honor. It has to be deliberate by Steve, because he wouldn't just bring up these type of wordings back to back. But the way they exclude Mother Dark from this discussion, it just annoys so much. It annoys me a lot. So that's one thing. Do you want to add to that?
Because what little I would add is that there is a general pervasive notion that Mother Dark is unfitting for her role, both as goddess and as queen.
Because
she's romantic. No, because she's romantic. She is sentimental. It was in chapter 9 of Forge of Darkness.
Yeah,
if you recall. Yeah. And there is a general notion that even as consort, Draconis is more of a leader than Mother Dark is, at least to the people who aren't hating him. Partly that's also why they hate him, is because they feel like he is. You get it. Look,
we get it.
people dislike Draconis because they think he's pulling the strings behind Mother Dark, and because Mother Dark is incapable of ruling because she's a woman, God forbid.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done with all the patriarchy talk. So that should be a separate episode someday.
Yeah.
It's just, we should. It will take us time, but we should do it. So now, these quotes, they just live randomly in my head. All the time I keep thinking about, these are not revelations. And all of this arrayed against the simple gift of love. Just tell me those quotes,
Yeah, that's I'm gonna be talking a lot more about that in a minute when we get there. So.
Oh, we haven't reached there yet?
No.
Did you not?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, then I'll wait. I don't have anything much now.
Yeah. So throughout the conversation, Silgas grows increasingly agitated. He may be an unwitting pawn to a conspiracy by Rise and Emerald and acting on behest by the Highborn, but his intentions do generally seem aligned with the continued existence of Curl Galen. He knows Draconis loves Mother Dark, and he knows the inverse is true. How could it be otherwise when Mother Dark has all but ignored everyone in favor of love? He names it obstinacy, plunging the realm into destruction, to which Draconis replies, it is simply love. Which is really pretty. I say this about a lot of quotes in this chapter. It's really pretty, but also really sad.
This chapter, I think Erickson has just taken like a good chunk of time to come up with this chapter, because not just this, but the manipulative words these guys use in multiple instances, the way Silcus is manipulated, and then Silcus talks to Draconis and then conveys that message to Anomander. All of those dialogues, it's just so perfect, so like exact, there's no like ambiguity in what these guys are doing.
Right, I agree. Silcus then insists,
getting to the depressing part,
insists that if that is indeed the case, they should have married. There would have been no civil war, no birth of Leosan, but Draconis cuts him off. The Leosan were necessary, and not just them. Silcus then replies that the civil war belongs to Mother Dark, which infuriates Draconis, though thankfully he does keep it down, who answers that accusation by saying, it belongs to all of you, who chose expediency over decency, who turned away when they shouldn't have, lacking imagination and courage. Silcus objects to the latter, and Draconis invites him to prove his bravery by setting his sword aside. Side note, before I go on about anything else, does that not sound like Anomander in Forge of Darkness?
Anomander talking to Mother Dark?
No, Anomander outside of Andorus' house, with Andorus begging him to set his sword aside and not name it vengeance, name it grief. Expediency over decency, being there when they not being there when they should have, turning away when they shouldn't have. This isn't just Silcus. This is why he says all of you. It's because the entire realm is like this. They're all like this. It's not necessarily a race thing. It's not like they're innately proclived. I don't know. They have a proclivity.
Proclived. Yeah.
Towards or predilection. There we go. Say, to acting like this. But the way the society is structured, I feel like I'm going to talk about this a lot. It just urges behaviors like this. Expediency over decency. That's why Endus talked about magic being expedient earlier. Because he knows that the dice would just grab all that and be like, yep, we're going to use it for everything. We saw the same thing with like the Hust mines, right? They see nature and they think, yep, let's just burn it all down to make room for industry. They made a war with the Jelek for the same reason, even though there aren't, by design, doesn't matter. There already aren't enough pastures and hunting grounds for both peoples. So they just like, well, we're going to take it over, and then we're going to run that into the ground, and then we're going to keep taking things over. It's systemic, almost, how much expediency they choose over decency. So I think this is Draconis just kind of almost snapping. Like, he goes, you mort, and then he has to stop himself before he goes nuclear and Silcus. But this is more, like, abrasive in my eyes than just telling him he's an asshole. It's like, no, you all are assholes. All of you are at fault here.
This exact type of asshole. Oh, God.
That's the side note. The actual note is that Mother Dark has told us that the wound must be made so that it can be healed as far back as chapter 9 of Forge of Darkness, with Old Man, if you remember, informing Draconis of the Azathanai weeping and seeking redress for Draconis' creation of the Terrandai in chapter 11. In other words, both Mother Dark and Draconis are profoundly aware of the consequences and fallout of their shared choices, though, as I mentioned above, it must be said that the majority of the tangible consequences in the realm of Curl Galen stem from its inhabitants and its institutions. It's not just Draconis' fault or just Mother Dark's fault. It's on the institutions that these civilization has propped up. It is this notion of, greater houses, smaller houses, and lesser houses, and peasantry, and deniers, lest we forget. They don't call them sheik, they call them deniers, and so on. They're all assholes.
I think, yeah, that sums it up, yeah.
Now that I've got that out of my system, let's keep going. The commander elaborates on what will occur when the Leosan end up taking the city. A second throne will arise, and the consort will promptly be cast out. To which Draconis replies, rather cryptically,
oh god.
These are not revelations. Silgas replies that none will sympathize with Draconis anymore. Too many people have died, too much blood shed to find empathy for the consort. They will hunt him down in his exile, and Kilaris interjects that in so doing, they will break Mother Dark's heart.
Right at the heartline of the Valley of Dance.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Do you have something to
It's
add?
just in the audiobook, the way Draconis sounds, so tired.
He just sighs. Yeah, it's a sigh.
These are not revelations, and oh god, it really made me cry. This bit about Draconis. Yeah. I mean, could they just be in love and just sit in dark and not bother about these guys, Right? I mean, it's a love story.
We'll talk about that in the next few chapters. Yeah. I say few, the next
even in
two.
This chapter, I think by the end, it's like Mother Dark has filled it to the brim and all that.
Yeah. That's this chapter, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
These are not revelations.
Can I stop being sad? And okay.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
No, we're not yet. No.
These are not revelations. Is a quote that on its surface is fairly self-explanatory. I think you would agree. Draconis can piece together that this is what the Leosan plan. The scene immediately following this, however, with Kristen stepping out from the dark, implies a second meaning. This isn't the first time this happens. Draconis knows these things because they've occurred before. There were variations, of course. They were hounds once that tried to savage him in chapter 18, when he gets assaulted by Capello, and Mother Dark goes to comfort him. He says, they were hounds, and hounds are smarter than panthers. They tried to kill me, and they almost succeeded. This guy does nothing. Or a different manner with which to make darkness a gift. But the key idea, light arising in contest and in balance to darkness, the grey shore rising and falling, that has all happened before. We will bring this up much more in the next two chapters, but I bring this up now again because it's so important to understanding the novel and what Draconis is doing. This has happened before, and the fact that he sees this and is so world-weary is because he's fucking tired of it all. And I'm tired of it all. God damn it.
If you're tired of this, you should read the Dark Tower series.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Draconis then squarely asks Silgas what he'd have him do, and he knows that there will be no surrender, and a moment of awkward silence passes, wherein Kilaris silently pleads with Silgas to not do this, because, Kilaris is a bro. Before Silgas declares that the honorable thing, because remember, Lord Draconis is an honorable man.
He's an honorable man.
Yeah. Is to step aside. Draconis bitterly replies that he's already done so. The role of consort isn't something he volunteered, but Silgas asks, more like demands really, that he do so again, since it is, drumroll please, the honorable thing.
The honorable thing.
Kilaris again silently laments Draconis' choice, for he has found such a love of his own, but before he's able to speak, Draconis declares that he will be taking his house place with him in his exile. And the matter has assumed overall command, and it is Silgas' belief that he will not break Mother Dark's covenant to unsheath his sword. We'll hold that thought. Kilaris' grievances notwithstanding, Draconis instructs them to await in the corridor beyond, and Silgas, apropos of nothing, asks if he plans to make his farewell to Mother Dark. Draconis staggers and asks Silgas squarely if he's out of his fucking mind, at which point Kilaris takes a dumbstruck Silgas and walks out of the Chamber of Night. The last sight he has of Draconis, a man bereft of love, that just felt the cold touch of honor upon his lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you interpret that you will make your farewell to her and then Draconis just snapping?
He's trying to do the exact opposite, right? I'm not leaving because of you. I'm leaving for her. I'm not saying goodbye to her. I'm saying goodbye to you. I'm not about to say farewell to Mother Dark because I am not here. I'm not leaving because I'm gonna give her up. I'm leaving for her. I'm not leaving because you told me to. I'm leaving because if I don't leave, it will all go to shit.
So what I thought was that he's not going to be with her. He's going to leave her, right?
See, yes. I think the audacity in which Silkas asks the question, which to be fair, Silkas isn't doing it out of malice. It's not like he's not trying to sting him. Not... He's just an idiot. But I think the overall point being made, Kilaris picks up on, but Silkas doesn't. And again, keep that in mind. Kilaris picking things up on love that Silkas doesn't. We'll get to that later. Silkas is asking this as though Draconis is going to accompany them to the battle. Like, oh, you're going to say goodbye and then you're going to come with me, right? Like, are you fucking dumb? Are you dumb? Have you not gone anything?
Okay. That is not the way I understood it. I understood it as Silkas saying he's telling him to step aside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before stepping further aside, is he going to say bye to her and leave? And just before that, I think Drax says something like, we are in this world. So he's not exactly in dark. He has come to their world now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to leave without saying bye to her. He's not going to, because the next bit about stretching till it snaps, all that comes, right? So I thought he's leaving her and he's not going to say bye to her because she's going to bind him with her ropes of honor or whatever that. It has come up before, right? She has held him bound with her pride because pride gives strength to love or something like that. And she's the one who is keeping him with her. And so he's going to now leave without telling her. That's the way I understood it.
I agree to an extent. I agree in the sense that he was not going to say goodbye. I think he is angry at Silgas for implying that he would say goodbye.
Yeah.
Because I don't think... I don't believe that Draconis wants this to be the end for him and Mother Dark. See, Dust of Dreams when he comes back and says,
yes,
I'm sorry,
of course
my love.
Not, but...
So Silgas implying that, so this is it? That's how this ends? Like, are you fucking stupid? Have you not gotten anything?
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes from. But yeah, no, he's not going to say goodbye because he's also leaving, far enough to hear it snap.
That is so, pretty, okay, I think you should finish the Grizzin part. Did you finish the Grizzin part? No, right?
No, not yet, no.
You're going to do that now.
Yeah. So after Kilaris and Silkas depart, Grizzin enters stage left and apologizes to Draconis for his inability to protect his love. Draconis is not surprised. He never could, nor indeed could Draconis himself. Never is such a strong word. And it ties
you
back
in
with what I said.
Read that section.
Yeah, I could.
Every line is so pretty.
It's a long section, to be fair, yeah. Grizzin replies, I did not know love could die so many deaths, which is in and of itself rather depressing. But Draconis' follow-up is even more so. Love has enemies beyond count, because to those never touched by it is a weakness. To those in its bittersweet embrace, it lives a life besieged. Grizzin wishes to object. Surely, such a judgment is born of envy. But he himself...
Hold the thought.
Hold the thought of envy. Yeah, true. Very good.
Yeah, go on.
But he himself fled his wife, so how could he object? Nonetheless, his love for his wife has not been stretched in the least, though for Draconis, that won't do. So he'll head far enough to hear his own loves snap. As Draconis exits, stage right, Grizzin thinks to himself that there will be no straining this love. Indeed.
Grizzin turns to the audience and delivers a monologue saying, nothing is going to get snapped. But this, the Chamber of Dark scene is exactly like watching something on stage, right? It's exactly like that. The darkness and people just walking into the light.
In and out, yeah.
And just people just talking and,
and then they leave.
High, intense, charged scenes and then going, Yeah. This should be made into a screenplay.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will work.
Shouldn't somebody just take only the bits in the Chamber of Dark, all the bits that happen inside the Chamber of Dark, and make it into a complete play?
Sure.
Like Mother Dark sitting on the throne, meeting Rake, then, all the scenes that happen inside there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it could just keep getting darker and darker, the stage.
Yeah.
Oh God, I would get chills. Right, yeah. No, I don't want to talk about this. That's why I'm telling you all this. Yeah, go on.
Scene 4. An end.
Oh, yeah.
An end to it all. I'm not going to talk about the scene. I have no clue. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I have no clue what the fuck he means. Then he set off to find her. There would be no stretching this love. Nothing made so taut as a snap. The words he could bring to Mother Dark.
He's going to protect that love. That's what he's going to do. He's going to tell Mother Dark, look, that guy is running away.
Then why parallel it to a knife's cut? As though
Wait, what does he say exactly?
the words he would bring to
The
Mother
words?
Dark. Yeah, go on.
The words he would bring to Mother Dark were a knife's cut. Do you think?
I don't know.
No, I refuse.
That is not to say I believe that Mother Dark doesn't like Draconis after the end of this, right? But I don't know what Grison tells her. I don't know, which is why I'm not
I
talking
didn't
about it.
notice the knife's cut because I was too busy feeling sad. So nothing made so taut as to snap. So if he cuts it, what's the point? No, I don't. No, Grison wouldn't do that. It's not.
I don't know, because... Okay, I think taken in context with everything that has happened in this chapter, rather in this scene, not chapter, it basically means he's trying to protect Draconis, I think. Because, presumably, he has seen this scene transpire before, hence why you never could protect my love. And he sees that no matter what Draconis does, he's too deeply in love to see objectively. So he may very well put himself in danger in the name of love. And so I suspect that he wants to put a quick end to that by... But then again, I don't know what he tells her. So I can't tell you if this is right. I can't tell you what exactly he means by saying knives cut. Which is why I skipped to the next scene. Because I have no fucking clue what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, because that makes sense if you say that he's the protector of nothing. So he wants nothing back there. Where there is love between Mother Dark and Draconis, that's what he wants to cut it and make it nothing and protect it. I refuse to believe it.
I think nothing in this case would be either fate or the status quo. Because Draconis has completely upended any semblance of balance that would be in the Azathanai realm, right? By bringing Dark to the mortals and killing a Jagged to do it, and granting them that, and then clearing out the entire realm so that Mother Dark has free reign to rule it. He has completely upended the balance. That, coupled with what Cruel does to give his own warrants, and Erasmus making his holds and all of that, shit's fucked. There's not very much left for Grison to protect, right? Because he says in FOD that his presence here is a sad comment on their state of affairs or whatever.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's now taking action, the last action he took directly was, if I recall correctly, not allowing Mother Dark to inhabit Emerald.
Speak.
And speak
to
Draconis. I think.
Yeah, that's right. What he does. Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what the balance or nothing he's trying to protect here is, which is what confuses me. If any of you have any ideas, down there.
Maybe he's the opposite of a wingman,
Maybe. Doesn't he kind of wingman with Sulcast in chapter 2 though? When they're in a tavern and they're talking?
No, but
no?
It's Draconis, because Draconis is his real buddy, they're college roommates, so he's going to be the anti-wingman for him.
True. Should we move on?
I'm just so sad. Yeah.
Okay.
Can we go to the P&D bit directly?
That's three scenes away, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Right. Go on.
Scene 4, an end to it all. We spend what is basically an entire scene within Rise's internal thoughts as he rides back to Carcanas with Emerald. His thoughts lead him down to concepts of revolution and civilization, spurred on by the imagery of the citizens of Carcanas taking to the streets, with the battle at Tarns soon underway. There is something, he declares, ineffable and contagious, a fever, he calls it, that takes over a people when they take to the streets. There are times when they collectively stumble and either fall into discord and despair, or the people collectively realize that this whole time they have been enslaved. We of the multitudes, of the civil commons, we are the flesh and blood of an enslaved body, by a system that they have finally overthrown, by throwing it into the path of a metaphorical headsman's axe. Now, Kelaris did ask Herat to summarize them as the multitudes and leave them to the shadows. It's also, and I will come back to this, alarmingly interesting to me how easily you can substitute multitudes with proletariat and watch as Rise stumbles onto Marxist political thought. I do not know enough about that to talk about it at length. I will bring it up soon. But one of my main things that I kind of wanted to see others do is a Marxist political critique of Cruel Galeen to attempt to contextualize the Civil War as class warfare. I would ask Wes to do it. I never have. Anyway.
We should, yeah.
More in a minute.
He would be he's an expert in both fields, so...
Yeah, see? Exactly. Yeah. Alas, such a realization does not last, because mobs are stupid, which is fair. Self-appointed leaders rise and fall, and the dream of freedom dissipates, and before long the status quo is dominant once more. Surely, Rise concludes, there must be an end to the cycle. For there to be an end, therefore, the revolution must never end, with each man being made a ruler of themselves and unto themselves. With none to guard the virtues of a just society, each must embody those virtues of justice. Having reached this junction, Rise probably concludes that he has lost his mind, which is really funny to me.
Yeah, like he's going deeper and deeper and deeper in this thought, and then all of a sudden, okay, yeah, this is too much. It's like I smoked too much of this.
So, a quick note, mostly as a political trivia. So, in Marxist political thought, the notion of permanent revolution, which is what Rise mentions by name, but not talking about this, we'll get that later, exemplified mostly in Trotskyist texts, to contrast with the bourgeois revolution, wherein the bourgeoisie overthrow the vestiges of past ruling systems, in most cases them being feudal systems, and establish a capitalist state. For example, the American Revolution is a bourgeois revolution, the Dutch Revolution, the English Revolution, and the French Revolution would all fall under the purview of bourgeois revolutions. One of the more prevalent theories at the time of Trotsky in the early 1900s was what's known as stagism, two-stage theory, in which it says that for socialism and then communism to come through, any society must first experience capitalism. And for that to happen, the bourgeois must overthrow the past ruling vestiges, industrialize the proletariat by making machines and whatnot, which the Hust have done. This is a thing that's happening, by the way, in Coral Galenius, so why bring this up? And therefore bring forth capitalism, which is, in that theory, a prerequisite for socialism to even exist. Trotsky revived the theory of permanent revolution, which was as old as Marx, so like in the 1850s, so we're talking like 70 years later, in order to contrast with stagism. And the theory declares that basically the proletariat themselves would overthrow the feudal regime and institute socialism because the bourgeois class was either underdeveloped or incapable or otherwise unwilling to launch a revolution of their own. So Rise isn't talking about that. I bring it up mostly as a trivia and because I think it's interesting how easily it could work here. What Rise is saying is advocating for the mastery of oneself, or the striving towards mastery at any rate, wherein a society's laws are descriptive of the values and cultural norms that a society strives towards, rather than prescriptive and prohibitive. This isn't new. This is partly what, guess who, my boy Kadaspala has been discussing with Rusander in Towards the Darkness. When he says that laws are formalized opinions, this is what he means. This is the system that, random example, the Forl can use. So, for instance, as an example, thou shalt not kill is not a pronouncement which by its nature of declaration prohibits killing, but rather describes the predominant cultural norm that killing is bad. And in a society wherein the only thing prohibiting murder is such a declaration, random example again, the Forlgan, such society is bound to fall into the cycle of the status quo, of basically undermining and going around and cheating the system, reasserts itself time and again. This whole thing of what Rise declares as, how does he put it? Hang on. None to guard the virtues of a just society, each must embody those virtues of justice. That, rather the impossibility of that, forms the basis of Gothis's arguments on civilization. That civilization is bound to fail because that's impossible on a large scale. That is a tale for another note, which I don't have right now and I probably won't be making. But if we ever do discuss that, I might bring it up. So, what to take away from all of this?
That exactly the sentiment that Mother Dark is trying to tell Rake. All of this, right? We've seen all of this before.
No.
The whole, we're not going to get descriptive laws. You're not going to be told what to do.
Yep.
Your children, not just in name, It's not new.
In the next chapter, a certain character... A certain character declares that your lawmaking simply circles a host of simple truths. All of this isn't that complicated. And I don't mean this in a bad way. This is basically the dialectical process. This is essentially raising arguments from both sides, contrasting them against one another, and then seeing what comes out to reach a truth. And that truth in this case is killing is bad. We shouldn't kill people. we shouldn't kill people because a law says we shouldn't kill people. It's not because like there is a writing on the wall that says no, we shouldn't kill people, except if it's a Friday at 4:48 p.m. over a bridge. Then we can kill people. Then it's fine. We shouldn't kill people because we, as Deist, as people, as Forlkan, as whatever, understand and accept that killing is bad. That is what Rise is saying here. And the fact that Rise and the rest of the Deist as a whole can't really agree on that some fundamental fact, not necessarily that killing is bad, but laws should be governed by that maxim, doesn't bode very well, does it? Rise's pronouncements, alas, reach a considerably grimmer conclusion. The Deist civilization is still twitching, but any hint of intelligence is dimming. Following the clash of armies, the status quo will inevitably reassert itself, and therefore nothing changes. Which, again, echoes Gothel. Rise echoes Gothel a lot here. I'm not going to bring it up every time, but he does it a lot. Those thoughts take Rise down to the very cradle of civilization, a time of kin hearths and a half-dozen huts marking the very limits of a people, wherein the notion of strangers stemmed from those dwelling beyond those limits. Now, even those closest to us, neighbors, colleagues, co-workers, are strangers. In his sentimental moments, Rise considers a time before strangers. In a civilization of friends and family, they may all have belonged, but that thought immediately strikes a roadblock. Civilization itself entrenches the notion of the other, because civilization itself arose as a means to protect the in-group from a world that wants to eat us. If any of this sounds familiar, that's because Mora's favorite character has brought it up before, extensively. This is Karsa thoughts.
Karsa, yeah, it's all Karsa.
This is all Karsa. This is literally Karsa's problem with civilization. Again, simple truths are being circled here. It's nothing groundbreaking or revolutionary. It's pretty. It's not necessarily new because they still haven't figured this out. Go on. I can see you want to talk. Go on.
No, it's just that the next bit is like the cherry on top here.
Yeah.
I just loved it so much. Sorry.
Yeah. His snort of bitter amusement was louder than he'd intended, drawing Lanier's attention even as they drew up to the gateway. Irony, she said to him, is a cheap pleasure.
So the whole section is him just sitting and thinking and thinking and thinking, and then just snorts, and Emerald gets it. Like, it's amazing. I just liked it so much because it's just one off, she just throws it out there. Just don't indulge in all these things. Because do you think by now Rise has actually smoked some of whatever she's smoking? Because he was contemplating it. He said, next time you smoke, I'm going to join you. And then now he's having all these theoretical thoughts.
I don't know.
Maybe he's had it.
Maybe, yeah.
He's had a puff or two. Yeah.
Probably. A puff or two, yeah. Possibly. I don't know. Scene 5. Peace. Yes, but no peaceful path was promised. Ivas and the Houseblades, yeah.
Being a dick right from Karkanas to
Yep.
Book of the Fallen. Yeah.
Ivas and the Houseblades of House Dracons have arrived in Karkanas, accompanied by Anamander Kaladin. The walls of Karkanas were created in a different age, one of spear rattling and flagrant displays of power, and it looks woefully unprepared for this new age, more akin to a row of discolored teeth making the city look like an upturned skull than a wall to hold off the Leosan. Ivas proposes they encamp here. Yeah.
What does the line say? Upturned skull?
Yes.
Like so many errant thoughts.
Oh.
Why is there a random errant here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ivas proposes they encamp here. The city is crowded enough as it is, and should Draconis show up, he would have an easier time commandeering them here. Indeed, many Hybern families have heeded his Shtula Skull and brought their houseblades to the city. Anamander declares that if Draconis does show up, he would need to be the one to talk to him, since he is to blame for the loss of Draconis' keep. He fears that with the oncoming of sorcery, these flimsy walls, as were, will crumble and lives of many Deist will be lost. Grip replies that none of this is Anamander's fault, so he shouldn't feel bad about it, though Anamander counters that the first Son of Darkness ought to be more than just a title. It confers responsibility, lest it invite cynicism and indolence. Others will advise him to take the path of expediency, but has he truly become quite that cynical? Grip answers that Mother Dark denied him the drawing of his sword, and therefore denied him any choice. But Rake disagrees. Denied one choice, he says. There remained many others, 100 paths to reconciliation, and none taken.
Yeah.
And this is where I victoriously yell,
falling in love with
yes! Finally! Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I want to say is that the contrast between Anamander and Silgas here is pronounced and obvious. Silgas, as the messenger of Draconis' conscience, urging surrender because it's the honorable thing to do, compared to Anamander refusing the path of expediency because he's not yet that cynical. More talk of expediency, by the way, you've noticed, I think.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Moreover,
Bring it up. Yeah.
Anamander, recognizing that he had a multitude of choices and yet took none of them, is a sign that the Anamander Rake of the Malazan Book of the Fallen is finally manifesting in the Anamander Rake of Karkanos.
And we all cheer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add?
No. I think we have a lot of good stuff coming up. So.
Okay. Ibis then counsels meeting Urisander on the field, a final means to achieve peace, but Grip rightly observes that Hunral and Sintara will defy them both, and will see the black waters of the Dorsan Rill turn red. Anamander mutters that those waters will turn red downstream of the city, turning back to face the city. Ibis has Yalad set up camp and tells him to temper the zeal of the Houseblades. They are still the Houseblades of Count Draconis, and by the time he turns about, Kaladin is speaking. Do you want to comment on this? You will see the waters of Dorsan Rill turn red part?
Yeah, it is. I don't know. How did he overnight become cynical, this guy? He's become all...
Grip or Anamander?
Accepting of... Anamander, not Grip. Grip, I don't think Grip has changed. He's the same, right? He just wants to fight, serve his lord, and be happy.
Yeah.
No, but there was a bit about a dagger. Did we finish that?
I don't think so. That's later. When Silgas arrives, yeah.
Oh, it's later. Fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
No, I don't have anything to add.
What I wanted to say is that they will see the waters, the black waters of Dorsan Rill turn red to another ascension, but downstream of the city, surely. It's such a succinct, elegant, and poetic way to just say nothing will really change for Karkanos.
The whole Riserat's internal monologue.
Yeah.
In this one line saying, surely it's downstream.
Yeah, they'll kill people. A lot of people will die, but what will really change? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
And again, this isn't new. Laura brought up Riserat. We've seen, in chapter 11, when Sintara and Hunral are discussing their own thing, what we'll do. Everything okay?
Oh, no. Just little warm, so I was staring at the AC and now it's working again. So.
I see. Nice.
Yeah, it's fine.
In chapter 11, when Sintara and Hunral are talking about their thing, what are they planning to do afterwards? You just want to elevate the soldiers in place of the highborns. Yeah. So nothing will change. Yeah. So nothing will tangibly change in the lives of the average citizen of Karkanos. So, as Kelaris will tell us later, this whole war is pointless.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's more or less everyone agrees that it is pointless. But
hold that thought for next chapter, please. Just hold that. Hold that. There will be a lot more of that later. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kaladin tells Rake that he'll head to the forest to heal what he can until he is needed. And when Rake asks him why, he's surprised, but at least cognizant of the fact that this reveals Rake's unease. The promise of peace was given, yes, but Rake says that choosing peace for himself will not absolve him of the bloodshed. Kaladin asks if choosing either option would make any difference, and Rake asks the same of Kaladin's healing. Brood replies that he does what he does to appease his own ego. There's nothing present to voice gratitude, and so he's denied the opportunity to feel useful. A distinction between useful and better hits a nerve in Anamander, who sends Kaladin away until he's needed, and which switches back to Ibis noticing Silgas's arrival with Kelaris. Ibis reminisces on how, within language and conversation, omissions are common and indeed expected, with the implicit understanding that the listener comprehends the meaning left unsaid. Ibis sees this for once as a presumption, and all but begs Anamander to free the words with not one left unspoken. The scene ends with Ibis thinking that he himself is too much a coward to free the words, and so relays his own failings onto Anamander. Remember what I said about the Anamander of the Book of the Fallen showing up here? And asks him to make us braver than we are. Poor everybody, really. Mostly poor Rake.
Poor everyone, exactly. I was wondering, who are you going to point out and say, poor this guy? Poor everyone.
Poor everyone.
So now, this bit about Kaladin and Rake, he mistakes this when Rake asks him why. He thinks it is like, what difference are you going to make? That's not the attitude with which Rake is asking. He's like, in the sense, okay, the way he's asking it, should he take a stand? Like, what difference is it going to make? Isn't that what finally Rake wants to know? Like, whether he chooses to pick up the sword or whether he chooses to not, is it really going to make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
whatever choice he's making is to feel useful.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole, if he's standing still in the middle of a river, which is basically his name,
Mm-hmm.
Anamander is Purek. So, will it be so partly that it's not going to make any difference to the river? Or is it going to be so strong-willed that it's going to split the river into two?
Mm-hmm.
He can't say. He doesn't know.
Yeah. Good question. I don't know either.
Right. So anyway, the thing is, he makes a choice. So all we get to see is the consequence of that choice.
I agree. I wish I had more to add. I mean...
No, it's nice that we came back to the meaning of his name here.
Yeah.
Standing still.
Yep. Shall I move on?
Yeah, and the whole, we speak only 1/10 of verbal versus non-verbal communication. Right?
Yeah.
And when, who's this? When he just says, pray you free the words, let them tumble with not one left unspoken.
Mm-hmm.
This single line is the follow-up from his entire paragraph, right? From saying that now there would be words, the notion stuck him as ominous. This is a madness.
Yeah.
The whole blah, blah, blah is mad presumption. This whole line comes out when he speaks as free the words, let them tumble with not one left unspoken.
Yep.
Oh, God.
It's very nice.
Yeah. It is very nice.
Last scene before we catch a break. So, scene 6. Selkas. I will draw my sword. Immediately, I want you all to remember what Selkas told Draconis earlier. That he will not break the covenant and not draw his sword because he is the first son of darkness. This is called dramatic irony.
No, you're talking about Anamander, right? You're not talking about Silkas. Oh, you said Silkas.
Silkas told Draconis, like Draconis asked Silkas, do you think he won't break that pronouncement? And Silkas replies, he is the first son of darkness. Here we are.
Yeah. Not breaking any covenants. Yeah, that's where we are.
So, Rennek has arrived. Rennek has arrived to Wise Karkanas, aiding Sandalot in getting down from the carriage and onto the icy ground. Corlad has grown to about 3, and for Prox, who is now nigh permanently drunk, objections that the child needs to walk, Sandalath carries her pretty much everywhere, replying that she walks realms unseen. She also says that the realm that exists before the first breath is drawn, and the realm that comes when the last breath falls away, is one and the same, that being elemental night. Stilgas draws close as the gates of Karkanas open, prompting Rennek to comment that he looks terrifying, because Stilgas can't catch a break, and Rennek asks when they'll ride into the city, because he needs to talk to Orphantal before Sandalath does.
Yeah.
Stilgas and Kilaras rein in, and Grip tells Pelk to go find his wife. She stops him, runs to Kilaras, and the two embrace, stunning everyone, before Stilgas asks if Anamander has found Anderest. And I could go on for hours about the scene. It's very nice.
It is. And to frame it from Rennek, who has no idea, there's just Silkas coming with some random guy. And then why is Pelk hugging him? And before these big lords, they've not even spoken, they've not even said hello. And look at these two hugging in front of everyone.
Before Stilgas then asks if Anamander has found Anderest, the latter replies that he has set such a pursuit aside, and he wonders if he perhaps should have named his dagger Vengeance instead. Rennek doesn't really care about any of this, not for the moment anyhow, and seeing Pelk and Kilaras embrace reminds him of Ginia and the day his world broke down, when he saw two star-crossed lovers duking it out in the stables, when a lantern fell and the stables caught fire, and maybe...
Is that also called duking it out?
No, it's a euphemism I came up with because I don't... Yeah. When a lantern fell and the stables caught fire, and maybe... Maybe they were duking it out. We don't know. Maybe.
We just know what Rennek tells us.
Yeah. I mean, so I think with one arm, it would be a bit difficult to... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe.
See, this is why the whole thing is so depressing. We need to grab at whatever makes us laugh,
Yeah.
And thankfully we have 2 hands. So.
And he just doesn't... Maybe it was actually him that set the fire, and he just doesn't remember. But what he does remember is the fact that Ginia was there for him. And so, when all is said and done, he'll return to her, and maybe love can mend the damage. But he needs to kill some people first. Oof. Okay.
How old is he?
Yeah.
How old is Renek?
12, 13 tops.
12? Yeah. Like, because we've been reading from so long,
Yeah.
my son's age is like sort of catching up with Renek, and it's sort of weirding me out.
Yeah.
Because he was quite young when we started reading, and I didn't like think of him. But now, yeah. Oh, I hate this.
Selkash replies that what
Sorry, what did you name this section? I didn't catch that. What are you calling this?
I will draw my sword.
Okay. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Silcast replies that what Anomander is considering is betrayal, which Anomander concurs with. It's about time. But he shuts down Grip's offer to be Rake's hand and knife both, because lest we forget, Anomander already dismissed him once, and he does so again, forbidding his taking the battlefield. Grip leaves like a browbeaten dog, and Rake asks of Kilaris if their houseblades are assembled, before repeatedly cutting off Silcast to thank him for his indulgence. In his pursuit of family, he has neglected his other family, and after all, the collective of the Taistandi is more important than any three brothers. Silcast then weighs his words carefully, and he asks Anomander what he intends, to which he replies that he is going to break Otherdar's covenant and take up command.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah. The irony, I think you would agree, is palpable here, but I want to stand on Ibis's advice to Anomander to let the words free. To his credit, he does, but Silcast doesn't. So misunderstandings occur.
Does Rake talk freely?
Does he not?
What does it tell about Anderist?
He says he set that aside, no?
That's the first thing Silcast asks him. Did you find him? You either say, yes, I found him, he's happy, I'm going to leave him alone. No, I stopped doing this work, is what he's saying. No.
Maybe I shouldn't create Anomander, fine.
They're both lying pieces of shit, brothers, so please.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier, there's also a way to consider the fact that Anomander did not receive Draconis' advice to lay down his sword, and to think what Anomander would have replied to such a commandment. We have seen partly what earlier Anomander would reply to that, which is, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to draw my sword and fuck you off. You're not the boss of me. But now, maybe would have been different. Maybe not. Anyway. Silcast then orders Kilaris to return to his company, visibly pleased with Anomander's pronouncement, telling the captain that he will have to inspect the company soon. To Renek's eyes, the world takes on a different hue. He considers that Is
this like a crucial point when Kilaris is being sent away? Because Silcast doesn't want Kilaris to be here when he's talking about Draconis, because Kilaris was already here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did not catch that at first, It's so manipulative. Come on.
Yeah, no.
You shouldn't be defending Silcast, not in this chapter.
Okay, look. Yes.
He is manipulating. It might be for whatever good motivations or good intentions, but they're both lying to each other.
Okay. I can live with that. I can accept that. I still like Silcast, though. No, it's fine. The world, to Renek's eyes, takes on a different hue. He considers that the old gods of the forest are collectively holding their breaths, and he notices that Silcast, who is now talking of sorcery and the ability to negate magic on their part, evidently wished to say something else, which Anomander doesn't seem to pick up on. He also notes that many of the figures he sees are ghostly. Ghosts of every age are attending to witness this moment.
Yeah.
Anomander declares they are to ride for the Citadel, and Renek takes note of a new banner, signaling the arrival of the Hust Legion. Remember when we said in early... Yeah, see, suitable? Told you. Silcast asks of Anomander to accompany him, and by extension the Hust, to the battlefield at Tarns, on the ride to Karkanos. Anomander replies that he wishes to speak to Mother Dark, and explain his decision to defy her, because surely Draconis will understand. But Silcast answers that
man to man. When they talk man to man,
of course.
You're going to understand.
Yeah. But Silcast answers that Draconis knows enough to stay away, catching Anomander off guard. He has so much to tell Draconis, but alas, Draconis prepares to flee. Renek catches a flit of hurt, confusion, and disappointment across Anomander's face, but Silcast quickly fills the silence, asking Anomander if, perhaps, Ibis would like to accompany them to Tarns. Rake concurs, and Silcast takes off to personally deliver the invitation. And here I will agree that he is 100% being manipulative.
Yes.
He is definitely
manipulating
him here. Yeah, no question about it.
Like, he specifically asked, I want my house plates when I go on exile.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he asked when he agreed to step again. And what does Silkus do?
Yeah.
Total bastard. He takes his house plates and runs.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even let Anamander meet him. Just imagine if they'd all met. See, Silkus doesn't want this war. He doesn't want this war to happen. That's what he started. That's where he started. And he thinks that if Draconis doesn't come, then yeah, it's going to be fine. If only he made Anamander and Drac meet, then maybe these guys could have, spoken to Rusander. They might have controlled Hundral to some extent. Maybe they could have tried something.
I think it's
Nobody wants this war, and everybody's trying to make this war happen.
I think it's way too little and too late by now. But I think less people would have died and less destruction would have come onto Korkanos if Anamander and Draconis did meet. I don't think the war would have been prevented. Certainly not now. But I do agree that things would have probably looked less dire and bleak going into the next few chapters if it did indeed meet. It's bleak. It's bleak. No question about it. Now,
I'm thoroughly depressed. So
yeah, no, this is a chapter and a half. Rennek moves up and informs Anamander that he must go to the Citadel and urgently. Anamander, ever the gallant bloke, gives Rennek leave to proceed in his name, inform everyone of his presence at Thorns, and gives him his sigil. Though he does instruct the boy to be careful within the city. Rennek insists, and Anamander claims to envy his vision. The Rennek, looking around and seeing thousands of ghosts, replies that he is not always sure what he sees, which Anamander claims is a sign of his having left childhood behind. Rennek thanks Anamander, perhaps one last time, and tells him he will return for the battle once he's taken care of business in the Citadel. His promise was supposed to please Reek, and when he sees the Lord's face almost crumple, Rennek says that just as Anamander has his vengeance, Rennek has his own. That moves Anamander to give him leave to join in, and Rennek takes off, thinking that death is the place you find yourself when there's nothing left to say.
Rick sort of says something like, "Who am I to deny you your vengeance?"
Yeah. Because he's not a hypocrite.
So, about these ghosts.
Yeah.
Should we talk about these ghosts?
Go on.
So these are all like the ghosts which have been returned because of what Hoot did, right?
Yep.
And only Rennek sees them. And the way...
And Orphanthal. But yes.
Yeah. Orphanthal too. Yeah. I mean, they're buddies. So, the thing is, when he sees these ghosts, I think it should... That's the next bit. You're not finished the bit where he's walking into the city, right? Or
no.
is it a different scene?
That's,
is it in this scene or a different scene?
It's later.
Okay. So fine. Yeah. Then we'll wait for that. But it's basically that he's got all these ghosts and they're all helping him.
Mm-hmm.
It's been happening from before, right?
Yeah.
What do you think Rennek will end up as? Because we don't see him anywhere else.
Oh boy, I don't know. I
Interesting,
hope,
right? Because
I hope happily ever after with Virginia somewhere.
With all the ghosts.
But I don't know, because generally the children, like barring very few, like Orphanthal in Karkanos, are more there to be, almost they're very much elevated compared to their adult counterparts, right? You have Renar, who is like more smart than pretty much everyone in the Leotham camp. You have Orphanthal, who can see ghosts and has magic. You have Rennek here, who can also see ghosts. And they're a means to explore a theme in a more blank slate kind of way. Like, they don't have preconceived notions of how the world works, morphed by decades of experience, so they're experiencing things for the first time. So they're more open to changing their minds. So I don't know if we'll ever see Rennek again. Well, we probably will see him walk in shadow. I don't know if we'll see him again as like some character that's happened before, like in the Book of the Fallen or like the novels. I don't know. I hope it will. If only to learn that he lived happily ever after with Junia, but I don't know.
No, I don't have anything to add here.
So the very next scene is Prazak and Dahanor, which is not a great place to start if you're 100 minutes into recording. So I think we'll leave it off here as a part 1, and we will see you very soon in part 2. So goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
bye.
And see you soon.
See you soon.